Alright guys, much better day today. Wind died down. Just hope it stays like that. So I'm just been finishing these covers off. I've got one finished, so I'll spin you around and I shall show you what it looks like now. I've got one finished. So that's the bottom. I've got polystyrene in the middle, polythene underneath, and then turn it round to the top and got the same again. Just polythene over the top of it just to stop any water sitting on top of it, things like that. So all's good. One down, only another 5 to go. 4 to go, sorry. Right, I'll crack on and get that done. So here we have it then guys, the finished product. All covered up. So what I've got here is basically 3 layers of heat retention. So underneath there's a layer of this polythene, so that's one layer of thermal insulation. Then in between I've got the 2-inch polystyrene, and then of course on top some more polythene. That's mainly just to stop the water soaking into polystyrene more than anything on top. But yeah, I think it should do a pretty good job. I haven't put me polystyrene in front of window yet, I'll do that shortly. But what I've done is my hinge, rather than have it at the front as well, I put it sort of towards middle of pond. The main reason for that is purely because our garden is south facing and the sun comes up round here, it's round here all day. So what I can do is I can just flip this up in middle of the pond, pull it back like that, and then the sun can shine into water and get some light and heat into the water. So yeah, all good. Should certainly help me on my goal to getting some heat into the pond anyway. In fact, I'll leave that open for a bit, let them get some light. It's quite mild today. So yeah, all good. Ideally I'd have put this into my last video, but just wanted to get that one out. And I weren't too sure whether I was going to be able to get this finished today, because it had get some windy weather out again today as well, but luckily it's worked in my favour and it stayed away. So if it comes in a bit, it can do what it wants now that I've got this done. So yeah, all good. Fish are just down there, I don't know how well you can see them. This window's filthy, it needs cleaning. So yeah, all good. I shall get this polystyrene cut to size now to go in front of window, because that will lose a lot of heat through that. Right then guys, catch you in a bit. I also forgot to mention that along with them covers I've put on now, also I've got me insulation underneath my fiberglass as well, so all that's going to aid in keeping heating. So that's a bit of a weight off me shoulders actually, getting them covers done, because if push does come to shove and I do end up having to buy an air source, then at least I know that the amount of insulation I've got on my pond and under fiberglass and my covers as well, it's not going to cost me a fortune to run it. So that's a big plus side, so I'm glad I've got that done, and not cost me an arm and a leg to do it neither, so I'm happy with that. Right, well it's Sunday anyway, so it's time for me weekly water tests, so I'll get on with that. and I'll probably show you what my results are from it, and I'll get them documented in my folder. So see you in a bit, guys. Right, so I'll just quickly share my test results with you. So this time I've tested 5 parameters. So I've tested my ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, pH and KH. I'm not bothered with my hardness test. I don't think there's really any point testing that. So yeah, all looking good really. We've got 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite, 0 nitrate, pH is stayed stable at 8, and the KH is at 4. So pretty much exactly as we've been. So yeah, all good. I shall get this jotted down in here. I've got me insulation put in front of my window now, so all's good there too. It's starting to cool down a bit now, so I think I'm going to get this shut up just to retain the bit of heat that is in the pond. So all well and good. So now I think it calls for some dinner. Alright guys, it's Wednesday today, just a little quick update. So I've still got my pond uncovered, just getting my temperature up. Well, not uncovered fully, I've just hinged back the 2 of the covers. So now the pond is just about up to 7 degrees, 6.9, so it's going in the right direction. I plan to leave it uncovered tomorrow because it's get another mild day for tomorrow. Then I think from Friday it's giving it to start dropping cool again, up until Sunday, when I believe it's gonna start coming mild again, with some southwesterly winds coming in. It's light. There we go. Yeah, so from Sunday it's get it to start turning mild again with some southwesterly winds coming in. Temperatures up to between 10 and 11 degrees, something like that. But from Friday I'll probably cover them back up till Sunday, just to keep the heat in what's been put in. I'll spin camera around and I'll give you a quick look. So this is how I've got it at the minute. Just 2 of the covers lifted up. Doing quite a good job of getting heat into my pond and getting my fish light. Now a few people have mentioned to me about these polystyrene sheets. The only downside is not letting any light into the pond, whereas polycarbonate would. And yeah, you are right about that, and that is the only downside. But like I says, what I'm going to do is, like, on mild days, just flip covers back like this, just to let some light in, just get as much heat into it as I can, basically. But at least they're going to help me retain my heat, so I can try and get my heat up as quickly as possible without having to heat it, just so I can get my fish more than anything. I'd rather get it sooner than later, because obviously with it being, 1 second, I'll spin the camera back round, guys. With it being left in the shop, they only feed the fish very minimally, mainly just so they can keep water quality more than anything, so they tend not to feed them as much. So I'd rather get it back to me as quickly as possible. Obviously I don't want to get it too quick and put in my water while the temperature is quite low, because I don't think it'd do it much good. So yeah, I'm going to try and get as much heat to it as possible and retain the heat. So yeah, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing really at the minute. Whenever it's mild, I'll uncover it and let some light in, and then when it cools down I'll shut it up again. That's about it really. So as you can see, at the minute we sat at 6.9, outside temperature 9.4. So like I say, it has been mild over the past couple of days with temperatures between 9 and like 11, something like that. So it has aided me very well in getting my pond temperature up, compared to a few weeks back anyway, when the pond temperature was like down to 2 degrees. So, you know, compared to a few weeks back, it's come up a hell of a lot really. So it's going in the right direction. If I do end up having to buy a heat pump, if it gets closer to the time, I think I'm going to end up, I don't know how well you can be able to see this, but I've got a valve down there, a ball valve. I think what I'll end up doing is putting a T either side of that ball valve, one T on the right hand side of it and a T on the left hand side of it, and then bring 2 pipes off underneath the shed floor. Well, I'll put another couple of ball valves on them as well, on them pipes, just so I can create a bypass. I'll bring 2 pipes underneath the shed floor, insulated, and then I'll bury them down here in front of the shed, and then I'll bring them along here and just bring them up down there somewhere, shift that plant pot out of the way and bring them up just down here, just right hand side, and then I'll probably sit my heat pump there. That's the best place for it, I think. Put a couple of these slabs down and sit it on there. That's probably the best place. But that's the plan anyway. If push comes to shove and I do end up having to purchase one, I think that's what I'll end up doing. So I've got a plan of attack in place should the need arise. Look at how messy this shed is, guys. I can't do anything with it yet. I think come springtime this barbecue's going. Just can't shift in here. I'll just get everything looking a bit smarter, I think, because I can't move. Got this bowl here on my work table. Well, that backy shower, that'll be going on pond anyway. Well, I can't really do much because I try and do as much work as I can on my bench whenever I've got something to do, but because I've got stuff everywhere, it's just a nightmare. I've been in process of refurbishing part from my boiler. So that boiler what I shown you in my last video, what's down bottom of my garden, I took that out of a customer's house, and I bought it back for space for my boiler, because there's nothing majorly wrong with it. And what I've been doing is I've taken this it's falling off. I've taken this hydro block out of it. So this is what we call your hydro block inside your boiler. You've got a plate heat exchanger on the back of it. You've probably seen these before, because you can get these sort of things. You can use them for ponds and things like that as well. So this is the plate heat exchanger, for the domestic hot water and for the central heating. And then this side here, this is your return side, and this side here is the flow side. But I've been refurbishing this, put brand new seals in it and everything, lubed it all up. I've renewed this pump motor. I've cleaned all this plate heat exchanger out, because what tends to happen with these is they get blocked up over a period of time. You know, just with sludge from your central heating system and stuff like that, and they get blocked. So the problem I've been having with my boiler is every now and again when you run the hot water, I think it's got a partial blockage in it. So when you're running it, it'll keep going hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, and then eventually boiler will lock out and go to reset. And that's a sign when your plate heat exchanger is blocked. So I've had this out as well, and I've had some brick acid in it. I soaked it in brick acid, just remove any crap out of this new one and get it a good thorough clean out and rebuilt it all. So my plan is to eventually, when I get time, is to strip my boiler down. Bleeding notifications coming through. So eventually I'll strip my boiler down and put this new refurbished unit in. So that was the purpose of bringing that old boiler home. I did think about using a boiler to heat my pond, but it'd be an absolute nightmare getting gas up garden, because my garden's quite long. I mean, from my house up to the top of the garden where the shed is, you're probably looking at a good 20-25 metres, and then then I'd have to take a gas pipe from back at house at front of house, so that's another 5 metres, and then round to other side of house where the gas meter is, and it's a very, very long run for a gas pipe, and an awful lot of digging would be involved, and I just can't be doing with hassle. It's not worth it. Plus I'd have to massively upgrade the size of my gas pipe on my gas meter and in my house, and just be an absolute nightmare. So I just can't be bothered with hassle on it. So if I do end up having to heat it, it's going to be an heat pump. So that's why I'm not using a boiler, if anyone's wondering, because people have said to me, well, you're a gas engineer, why don't you just use a gas boiler? And that's the reason, because I can't be doing with hassle of digging channels, running long lengths of pipe up garden for gas. It'd be an absolute nightmare, because there's that many different rules and regulations for running gas pipes underground, you won't believe it. I just can't be doing with hassle. Well, yeah, anyway, I'm waffling now, so that's what I've been doing in my shed as well, refurbishing that to go inside my boiler. So that, I'm just waiting for another part to go inside this, just to go inside this bit here. This is where this flow sensor sits, so this is like this acts as a flow turbine, so your cold water flows through that and it spins, just a sensor. But I need another part to go inside there, an adapter, because that just sits there, somewhere there like that, but I need an adapter to go inside there, what sits right at the back. So I'm just waiting on that part coming before I can do it with that. So yeah, I think that's about it really, guys. Not much more to say. Fish seem a bit happy now anyway, now that water temperature's been up a little bit more. Can't really see them. I've got my window all covered up. So yeah, I think I'll leave that at that then, guys. So I'll catch you whenever, people. Thank you very much.